Hey, Buckaroo!
Yeah, we're back, baby.
Okay, so I want to say one quick thing. Be mindful. It's been a while. Let's be mindful about our curse words on the live stream. Because I have so many I want to say right now.
All I gotta say is Belichick to Dallas. Let's go.
Oh my God. It is unbelievable how absolutely horrible this first half couldn't have been any more of a disaster.
This was. I don't think this. I know that Green Bay's had some good games this year. Don't get me wrong. This year, they have seem to have a pretty well balanced offense, but like this is more on Dallas just being. It's terrible. I don't think anybody expected this.
No, I mean, like, we always kind of have, like, we had this conversation last year when they crapped the bed in San Francisco. And I said, I'm not going to get really excited until January because the season for the Cowboys never starts until divisional round weekend. So we're about 30
Correct.
minutes of game time away from this not even being an official season for the Dallas Cowboys because they didn't even reach the divisional round. A miracle could happen. I mean, it could happen. They could come out and score in the first.
I haven't lost faith. I think that Dallas is coming back here.
Yeah, I
Don't
don't
really,
know.
but I'm trying to be positive.
Oh my gosh, I mean, seriously, it's like it's one of those things where uh you know um I've reached that pivot point, right? Where there's this weird pivot when you're a Cowboys fan where uh you're coming to terms with the fact that they're probably not going to win the Super Bowl, they're probably going to lose, and then basically you know, you start to root for them to actually lose by more so that McCarthy will get fired. Like you have this you hit that weird little crossover, right? And it I don't know if it's unique to the Dallas Cowboys fan experience, but do you know of any other sports fans that are that way where they actively start to root against the winning interest of their team so that management will make a change?
Well, I Patriots the entire year because I wanted to get a top pick. So yeah, I know exactly what.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great year to kind of be rooting down the Patriots because, the Dolphins are on the come. The Bills look pretty good. Obviously, the Ravens are going to win it. So this is a great year to go and like
Great.
get a draft pick. So that makes
Well,
a lot of sense.
I will say that if the Dallas Cowboys, at the very least, don't get this to like a score, then McCarthy has to be fired by tomorrow morning, in my opinion.
So it's funny because some people on Twitter are saying, this is Jerry's actual, 3D chess because, the Eagles play on Monday night and won't be losing to the Buccaneers until Monday night. So basically, Jerry has 24 hours to scoop Bill Belichick from the Eagles.
Well, I think if I understand it correctly, you can't get a first weekend of the playoffs has concluded.
Oh, is that right?
If I opens it up, if I'm reading that correctly.
Oh, so you have to wait until all of the games are done to make the
I think
call.
that's So now that the Buffalo Bills game has been delayed, they will an extra day, or at least they'll have to wait an extra day before bringing Belichick in. Something like.
So it literally has to be start a business Tuesday, basically.
Yeah, I think actually there's a chance the Buffalo Bills game now is not going to happen tomorrow either.
Oh my gosh!
My guess is it will happen, but we're getting some really weird weather in the Northeast.
Yeah.
It's been like for them because Buffalo is used to like bad weather. For them to have canceled, it must have been really horrific.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I really believe it myself. I think honestly, I feel like there's a little bit of gamesmanship from the bureaucrats up there in Buffalo. I don't know. It seems like if they were going to go ahead and play in Kansas City, they probably could have played in Buffalo. So,
Yeah,
but I
that
mean,
was very cool. Josh Allen's not very good in blustery weather, so maybe there was.
yeah, I don't know. It just feels like it was going to benefit Josh Allen, his ability to pass, like you say. I think that definitely has a lot to do with it.
But get back to this game. So what?
Why?
Is that was that the buzz though going in? Like, forget the Belichick noise, but was the buzz that to the NFC Championship game, or like what? What's the
Oh,
deal?
this whole week they've been talking about how McCarthy has to perform this postseason, or he's basically on a hot seat. Period. So basically, if
Okay.
they don't show up this postseason and do like respectably as good or better, then what's the point? Because I had a little Twitter argument back and forth with the dude a while back. The truth is he yeah, in the regular season he's over 500, but the actual results for the end of each season are not any better than Jason Garrett. So yeah. So kickoff just occurred, by the way.
Yeah.
The Cowboys are going to get the ball at the 25-yard line here. So I mean, I guess we're going to see here pretty quick. We can obviously roll through this first drive maybe. But
Yeah, I think if they go 3-0, that's a really good start. That's a really good start.
I
Am
mean,
I ahead of you, or are you? I'm not sure what you're seeing.
I don't know.
Obviously.
They just snapped the ball on first down. So
You didn't see
yeah,
the result of the play? Right, I must
they got.
be ahead.
Yeah, you must be a little bit ahead. I don't know if maybe are you over the air?
I'm over the air, so I'm not going to screw this up here. But they got a first on the first play of the drive.
Okay, so I got
It was a nice little
1433, 1432, 1430, 1429,
Oh, I'm way
1428.
ahead of you then. I'm way ahead of you.
Cool, excellent.
All right, so
you watch my soul be crushed then. So
it's positive. It's positive so far for Dallas. The first plays have been good.
This is definitely the way to do it, right? Oh, Tony Pollard exists. That's crazy. So all right.
Well,
but yeah, so
one thing I wanted to say is Jordan Love going to literally every single player that he's got at his disposal and
right.
cram it into CeeDee Lamb just because. I mean, come on, man. Open it up here a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like honestly, that interception where CD's route got jumped. I think when a wide receiver gets kind of, his body language says, "Hey, throw me the ball, throw me the ball, throw me the ball,"
Right.
then I feel like a defensive back, like a safety, becomes a hawk and can like basically jump a route because they know the ball is going to be CD is going to be the first look out the gate. So you can really hawk the ball in that situation. I just think I can't believe McCarthy has really just cornered himself with this game. It's unbelievable. So let's see. It was third.
Time, right? What do you have for a time right now?
Oh, well, I mean, it was
on the play clock.
it was it's fourth down, but there was a flag, so that's positive, I guess. So I'm at 12:54.
Ooh, action here. Ooh, little extracurricular happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh,
So
like helmet to helmet.
Yeah. So good so far.
I mean, if they get within, if they get, what's that? Yanking the face mask crap. That's terrible. God, I hate that.
Why would he do that?
I mean, at this point, you're going to give him an extra 15 yards. What are you doing? So, just doesn't make any sense to me. So this is where, we go into what I love saying is like, nutrition majors, kinesiology majors, none of these people like read or understand Sun Tzu and actual like strategy, right? It just becomes an absolute, meathead chess match. And this is where like someone like Lafleur can obviously crap the bed and lose the lead, right? Because they get
And,
cute.
and, and again, I said this earlier when we were chatting on the group chat.
Yeah.
I think is when you get nothing on first down and it's second and you can't win like that. And I just feel like Dallas has this to stop going into a 2nd and 10 situation as much as they do because they just have to get more on first down.
Yeah, it's actually quite unbelievable how terrible the scheme for this game has been. They've done a horrible job with the running game at all. They've put themselves in long situations. Uh, I don't know. Like Ferguson is amazing, and it's like he's an afterthought. I mean, I would have been crushing this team with Ferguson right out of the gate. And then that would have opened up Pollard, right? Oh my gosh, CD Lamb with an amazing dipsy do for the first down.
Yeah, I didn't want. I'm not gonna play a spoiler, so that's nice.
You,
If they can get
you can
CD Lamb,
spoil it for me all you want. I don't.
and listen, man, don't get me wrong.
Wrong.
CD Lamb is in the league. I think he's fantastic, but it's just like you can't get into this. You're just trying to target CD Lamb just because, and I think Dax just was out of sync. Let's do something else. Like let's use the rest of the team. Let's use the tight end. Let's do something. If they can score here, this is a game again.
Well, it's a game because they've actually properly opened up the running game, right? And I personally disagree with this idea that you run to set up the pass. I think you pass to set up the run. It is a passing league. The era of the Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders is over. It is a pass first league, and you have to pass to set up your run. Period. End of story. And I think that's one of the reasons why McCarthy gets himself in trouble in the playoffs because he showboats all year long, gets 12 or 13 wins or whatever it is, and then he gets into the postseason and he turns into thinking he's like Chuck Noll, and it's like terrible. So, oh my God. Was that a catch?
You don't have a block killer running backs. Like you have kind of a small kind of halfback guy running, right? You don't even have more than one. Do you have 2 running backs?
I mean, not really.
They just run.
They basically got this like glorified blocker. Oh my gosh. Yeah, let's slide for half a yard. What is this? So I'm going to bet they opt for a freaking field goal and they're down 17. So if I'm a guess.
I was saying also that missed come back to haunt. And that was before they got oh my, what is
the extra pick six?
No, yeah, if you didn't give up that pick six, that absolutely horrendous pass, then we would have a game here. And because I think that point that they missed.
Dear Lord, what was Dak thinking?
Because even if they can get a field goal here, and look at how close they came to not getting points at the end of the half. I mean that was. I mean that was. I was shocked that they got that. Actually, I thought they. Okay, let's see what's going on.
Yeah,
throw the ball away. Oh, jeez, don't throw the ball away. So here's the problem. They're now it's you catch up, so they're gonna.
Yeah.
I'll spoil it. They're gonna go for a field goal, which is fine.
Of course, they're gonna go for a field goal. This is. Oh my God!
But I mean, Dak into the guy's arm. He's got to be better.
To me, the frustrating thing, and I have some people I know that are just not Dak people at all, and that's fine. If you don't like Dak, it's like there's lots of quarterbacks that I don't like, so I don't care. You can like whoever you want to like. But the thing is, I feel like he is not good in the postseason historically. Like, he's literally no better than Tony Romo in the postseason. And, he literally is just a Tony Romo clone, except he's got better taste in women. It's like, I mean, and maybe he's like actually nice to the fans.
Earlier, I heard something earlier. They were talking about how but they were saying, like, when you try to rebuild a team, you can't. This isn't like great offensive line, and they had Tony Romo, and you can have a great weapons, and you have a quarterback like Tony Romo, you still can't win. I'm like, well, Tony Romo isn't a good quarterback.
Right.
His perception in the league is that he was good. He
Right.
gets no blame from anybody. It's like, clearly you have not watched the Dallas Cowboys with Tony Romo quarterback. Like, I mean, I don't know why this is difficult, but it remains a mystery. It wasn't the problem. It was that they didn't have weapons. So
Exactly.
you can't build weapons. I can't build from a line without weapons. It's like, it's nonsense. Like, none of these, like there are very few teams that truly have a great quarterback receivers. I mean, it's very rare that you have all three. So you can't just have to stop when you're building the team.
It sounds like you're losing a lung there.
No, it's been like, I had a cold and then it got better, and then I got another cold, and it's been crazy.
Yeah.
It's been like hot, cold, hot, dry, warm, cold, and I picked up another little thing, but I'll get over it.
Right. So you can hear me fine, right? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not getting a little. My little green animation that said my voice was coming through, like, was not working for some reason.
You sound great to me. You sound
excellent. Yeah, I mean, other than the hacking the lung, you sound great too.
So, and I apologize. I'm not in top form.
I don't care. I don't care. Like, literally, the wheels have fallen off this season, so it's totally fine. It does, like, you having a little bit of a hack while McCarthy craps the bed is the least of my concerns.
But this is interesting though, because that Bill Belichick and Jerry Jones are going to be like oil and vinegar. They are like two complete control. It isn't going to work unless somehow one of them to not have control. So I am not 100% sold.
It's not going to
happen.
It's not.
He's a good game manager, but like, it's just going to be difficult. And that's essentially what's happened in New England. The ownership wants control back in the team. What's at the root of the problem is the ownership lost control. They gave too much power to the coach, and if he goes to Dallas, our struggle just like Jimmy Johnson. It's going to be the same dynamic. It's not going to.
Yeah, 100%. It's going to be a. I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be. Let's see. Oh, it's read only for that. Belichick is going to Philadelphia, hands down. Lurie will give him the control he wants, because Belichick gets to be a villain. Like, I mean, think about it. If you want to, like, maintain that, rude to the, journalists vibe, and you want to be like, Captain Bully, like, Belichick is 100% going to Philadelphia. And he can basically poke Jerry in the eye and be like, yeah, if you weren't so, like, controlling, I would have come to coach for you.
I'll tell you what. The big buzz around here is that Atlanta is the landing. And that would be terrible.
Yeah, no.
That would be a terrible situation because Belichick get along at all. Like,
yeah,
that guy is like he's a touchy-feely kind of owner, and Belichick is just a complete maniac. Like, it's not going to work. It's really. I think you're right. Well, in Philadelphia, and just take the evil empire there. But I will tell you one thing that Belichick. Oh my God! I'm not even
Oh,
gonna
I can
talk
guarantee you what it is. I can
about
guarantee
that.
I know what's coming. I know it's
Oh
coming.
God!
Yeah.
You're not gonna like
I know
this.
I know it's coming. So basically, Love off of his back foot finds a miracle receiver just wide open, right?
Exactly what happened
Like
as
so,
he was getting hit. Oh my Lord!
Love has had more like 30-yard passes today off of his back foot, like like just like just lunging back, like
That's exactly what happened.
and you
You
know
should be seeing it right now.
how I see it.
Oh my
Yeah,
Lord!
absolutely.
Oh God!
And I mean that is like I'm just if you're a football purist, that is terrible form for a quarterback,
Now,
right?
what I don't
He's gonna
understand why are the Cowboys playing like they
off.
are all? They're
They're
not
like 10
even
yards off.
near these receivers.
Oh my gosh. Well, what's blowing
Get
my
it?
mind is they're giving up 8 to 10 yards off the line, right? And you would think that the Packers would like eat them up for 5 yards, right? But
Right.
somehow they're playing soft, 8 to 10 yards off, and they're dicing them for 15 to 20. Like that to
Right.
me is absolutely mind-boggling. It's like if they're dicing you for 15 to 20, get up there and like chuck them at the line. Like what are
Oh,
we doing? You're
oh
not
God,
hitting
you're
that
not
Mike
gonna like
McCarthy.
this.
Oh, of
You're not
course I'm
gonna
not.
like this.
34
I'll
to
let it catch up. So you're not gonna
so
like it. They're
that's
just slicing them up like the defense is not even out there. Easy. Like, how can this?
oh my
What
god.
change you need? This defense is just. They gotta play man. Do something.
Okay.
This zone,
So
and
the
they're getting
rumor all
destroyed.
week so the rumor all week was Pete Carroll, retires at Seattle, and Dan Quinn's name like came up number 1 to basically replace Pete Carroll cuz like he had a relationship back then.
Yep.
And I'm telling you right now, either Dan Quinn's already packed his bags, right? And is ready to go to Seattle on Tuesday. Do you know what I mean? He's like ready to get to work in Seattle.
Yeah.
Or there is no way in hell that Jerry Jones is going to like fire McCarthy and put Dan Quinn in, right? So
No.
this has got to be Dan Quinn's way of saying, "Hey man, you got to let me go." Do you know what I mean? Like it almost feels like he's laid down
It's
to leave.
it's this is an awful defense, and
Wow.
the having no problem carving them up, and it's just all in the soft zone. They're not even any particular defenders. They're not. They're just running in the middle of the field and finding guys open in the middle of the field. It's crazy. Wow.
It's like yeah. So okay, so now they're down what is it?
34-10.
34 to 10. So they're down 24 points with 1.5 quarters to go, right? So they're gonna have
Yep.
how many possessions? They're gonna have 4, maybe 5 possessions the rest of the game, right? So that is a maximum of 28 points that they could get. So 38 right now is as high as the Cowboys can get, right? And that's if everything goes perfectly, right?
And they're not going to be able to match Green Bay because
So if Green Bay,
they can't stop. They can't
yeah,
stop.
well, so basically, if Green Bay would have to tap the brakes and go into like rest everybody for next week mode, basically go into like prevent, right, and then miraculously, the Cowboys. I mean, you can't look. It's the playoffs. It's 100 yards for every 7 points, basically. You can't just give a pick six. So like that's why I said once Dak gave up that pick six, I was like, this game is over because you're already putting yourself 14 points behind, right?
Right.
Like you're gonna have to outplay the other team by 14 points when you give up a pick six. And so, like I said, I'm resigned to it. I'm fine with it. there's a part of me that is thrilled because I've hated Mike McCarthy for so many years. It's been a huge mistake. I want all my local radio guys to get on the air tomorrow and actually finally agree with me, because this guy is a absolute turd bucket. He's the worst.
Yeah. No, he's
I got a
terrible.
buddy who's actually like a Packers fan, and he was like, "Y'all are never gonna win with that guy." And I was like, "Oh my god!" And he was like, "I can't believe we won with him. Like the only reason we won was Aaron Rodgers dragged him to the Super Bowl, basically." And
Correct. And
I want to believe it.
Dak is not Aaron Rodgers. So I'll
Yeah,
tell you that right now.
yeah.
I think Dak is like a good quarterback, but he's not an elite. He's not Aaron Rodgers. That's
All right. So is this flag on the Cowboys or the Packers? Is it moving forward or back? Are they going to the fifth? Oh, they're going.
I don't see
Oh
it.
my gosh.
I
Yeah.
don't see anything. At least what I'm
Yeah.
seeing, I don't see
There was
flag.
there's a hold on the Cowboys. So it's first. So they were going to be outside the 30. Now they're going to be. Oh my gosh, this is terrible.
Okay,
What
let's
an
see.
absolute disaster. So an absolute disaster.
Well, the thing is, though, they can't. Obviously, they can't match score for score because they'll lose. So they're gonna have to get a stop. Oh, somebody got hurt on the Packers. Stop. Some
Yeah,
way,
linebacker
somehow.
looks like his clavicle. Ouch.
But
So yeah,
so
yeah. Go ahead.
so I in the world would be defending McCarthy unless it was just because it was so long with the last coach. But like McCarthy is not. You can't. You can't. You have to if you're going to be a team. You can't just be this bad. You can't go from like a good game to a bad game to a good. You have to be consistently as you go through the playoffs.
Right.
Like this is just it doesn't work like this. This is why I think the Eagles are going to struggle because they were getting worse as the year was going. But I'd also be surprised if you really think that they would fire, even though he's been successful and went to the Super Bowl last year.
Oh, he's already done. That team already gave up on him.
Okay.
When AJ Brown got hurt, he's mad. Like the whole team's like giving up on him. Jalen Hurts doesn't respect him because he's got to when Jalen Hurts has to say, "Hey, focus," because your coach is like gloating at the scoreboard and stuff. It's like, oh my god, like hello. So he's gone. He's absolutely awful, and he's perfect for Philadelphia. And it's a shame to see him leave. So
Wow. So Stanford. So you think that Sam is just gonna just go all the way to the or do you think there's any chance that?
no, I think this Packers team right now will 100% go toe to toe with San Francisco.
Okay,
Absolutely.
nice.
Absolutely. This team right now, they're on house money. They got nothing to lose. And San Francisco has a coach that loves to get his quarterback hurt. 100%. I'm all in on the Packers to upset the 49ers for sure. I'm also, tonight I'm on board with the Rams to actually spoil the Lions season, even though I would love to see the Lions, because basically this path right now, the Cowboys being out, this basically opens up the path for the Lions to get to the Super Bowl, right? Because I think the Cowboys was the worst matchup for the Lions, and I think they can pretty much handle everybody else.
So is there a game after this? What's the game after this game?
Rams Lions.
Detroit. Yeah. Okay. So is that on regular? Is that on regular?
Yeah,
TV?
they're all over the air except for that one last night.
Oh, that's such a. You know what? I think that's is to make folks subscribe to these things just to watch like a game.
Okay.
Oh, baby!
So you want to hear You want to hear a funny
Oh,
story? Well, want to hear a funny story during this over this exciting play? So,
absolutely.
last night I get home and I'm like, I thought I had Peacock or whatever, right? And so, oh my gosh, Michael
Right.
Gallup exists. And so, I get home and I'm like, I thought I had Peacock, like because I'd subscribed a long time ago. So I like that. So the app is like, it's like where it's like, hey, you don't have it, but you can re-download it. That little logo. And I was like, okay, clearly, I haven't used it in a while, and it removes it. So I like, re-download it, and it's like, hey, do you want a premium membership or this? And I was like, man, I thought I had it. Like that's so weird. So like, okay, I'll just, you know, screw it. I'll watch the game. You get my $5.99. I don't care right now. And so
Yep.
then dig this. I log in and I start like I'm watching. It's like cool. So I go to my other device because I'm trying to like get it to cast to the TV, right? So I get my other
Yep.
iPad or whatever it is device, and I open up Peacock, and it says, "Hey, do you want to log in?" And you tap like log in, and I was like, "Man, do I have to put in my Apple ID credentials? That's so weird." And it comes up with a different email and a different password than my Apple, and I was like, so wait, I did have it. So I hit like, just log in and it bam spins right up, logs right in. So I have two Peacock subscriptions.
So bad. Well, I was wondering if I could just like, how they have like the free. Apparently, they didn't offer that last night. You had to like buy it.
Oh, I know. There were these people on Twitter like all complaining. They're like, I've been on the phone with my dad for an hour trying to explain to him how to download the Peacock app.
And
I
I'll
mean,
tell you what,
you got people who are
it's also a related complaint I have is I have Amazon Prime.
yeah,
Amazon Prime now, like half the stuff that's on there, you still need another to watch it. So
yes,
you can't watch anything because they'll like let you
yeah,
watch one episode, subscribe, and then it's like, well, what is the point of the Prime if I've got to watch something that I'm interested in watching? And I don't like this model. It's like I already paid for the Prime, so why do I have to see that I can't watch
right.
in the Prime feed?
Yeah, and you get
It's uh
like Discovery, National Geographic, any documentaries you want to watch, all of a sudden it's like you got to have that. And this, having cable, right? We like cut the cord because we didn't want to get opted into all these channels. Then
right.
all these people decided to have their own little streaming services. Well, now I got to pay $6 or $8 per streaming service, so it's like twice as much as it was when I was complaining about just having to buy it, it all bundled, right? So it's like
And
it didn't help us.
the thing is though, there's like one show I want AMC,
Yeah,
and then there's one show that's on like MGM, it's on
right.
Max, or one show that's on whatever, and I'm like, okay, I don't, I just want to watch that one thing, and then I'm like, so I got to pay for Prime, and I got to pay for Max, and I got to pay for, so I'm like, there's no way,
Yeah.
it's just this model is just that than you would have paid if you
Well,
just had
I mean,
the
why
cable.
can't I just pay like $1 or 99 cents or $1.99 for that one like episode or that one season?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like of that, like I don't want to have to like subscribe to freaking Paramount Plus or whatever the heck it is,
Correct.
just because like I want to see one show that they're like gatekeeping. And then what's even
Yeah.
worse is in order for like tax write-off purposes, they'll actually basically hide stuff and you no longer like can have access to it because they don't want to have to pay actors and residuals and all that stuff. So, I'm paying the subscription service to like Disney or whatever, and then whatever show that was in their catalog that I used to have access to, they've taken away for some tax write-off, and now I can't even see the thing that I subscribed for in the first place. So it's like,
Right.
I'll just, maybe Gary Vee was right. Maybe VHS is coming back.
Back then was VHS because it
You're
was
just not.
like if you watch it, and if you didn't have it, you couldn't watch it. It was simple. You didn't even have to stress out. Like nobody complained. Like, oh,
Right.
I don't have the VHS. Okay, that because we don't have it. It was so simple back then. Oh my lord.
So, did I tell you what I got for Christmas? So, I got the Atari 2600 Plus. Have you heard about this thing?
Not, but is it like a remake of like the Atari?
So it's legit.
Some new Atari.
It's a legit Atari 2600. But the thing is it has an HDMI out, so it goes into new TVs. But then you can actually plug in your old cartridges, and they work from like 40 years ago, right?
Jeez.
Right? So my mind is blown. And so I'm like, oh my God. So I went to this, little retro store because all my stuff's in storage somewhere. God knows I'm not gonna be able to find it. But anyway, I went and found like old copies of like Space Invaders and Asteroids.
Nice. And that's another thing. And I'm not aging myself, but what I'm trying to say is Atari joystick was perfect because you just could move in 4-direct blaster button, and that's all you ever needed. Like I need to jump, I press the button. It was perfect. It was like
Yes.
It's never been duplicated. It was
Yes,
like
it is
that is the perfect controller. So good.
Absolutely. The only thing I would
go
do,
left and I could go right.
I would give it a second button. I'd give it a trigger button like this, so I could like thumb or trigger
on the side.
Like I would do it. I would make it like so you could play GoldenEye with it. You know what I mean? That would be amazing.
No, I totally agree. It was just simplified. There's something I find interesting is that just like vinyl came back, they got right that can't be replicated, and it's like because vinyl sounds better. Everything about it is better. But
what I loved about it, I plugged in the cartridge, right? I like blew into it to get all the dust out of it and everything. Plugged it in, hit the switch, and it loaded and it just works, right? And there's no internet, there's no nothing. It's like
there's no subscription that you need to pay on top of that, like Xbox, which just you can't even play Xbox games without a subscription on top of the game that you already paid for.
It basically the PlayStation ruined it for me because essentially, I would be really tired. I would get home and I was like, I just want to shoot some stuff or whatever, and I'd like turn it on, and then all of a sudden it would be like, you need an update, and you go, okay, fine, I'll do the update. I'll take a pee or whatever, and then like all of a sudden, like it's a 40-minute update for the system, and then you get to the game, and then the game needs another like 3 gig patch or something, and that's gonna take another 40 minutes, and I'm like, oh my God, I've been home for 2 hours, and I can't even get into like the game.
Correct.
Where I'm just like, I just want to fire it up and so the idea that you can't do that is just absolutely criminal. So anyway,
it's wasting our time instead of you're gonna like it.
All right.
So I'm not sure. Did you see the pass interference call yet? Uh-oh. Well, hi. I'm here by myself. Hello. All right. So there was a pass interference call, and Pollard just ran it into the end zone. Woohoo! Now they're going for 2, which I don't love. I don't like this. Just take the 2-point attempt. Oh, man. You dropped off. They kept the stream going. Don't you worry. Oh,
they need it.
Wow, they actually got the 2-point conversion.
Oh, my God.
Oh, there's a flag back.
Of course there's a flag.
Let's see. Oh, it's on Dallas.
Of course it is. Illegal. So did someone not report?
Well, I'm
That's
not
the
on the
same.
stream. I was saying I would have just gone for the point because the chance of screwing too great.
Oh my gosh!
But let's see what the.
So at this
I don't
point,
see. I
the
don't see
penalty
it.
be kicking now? It's illegal
They're going to
formation.
say the illegal pick is what I think it is. I think the wide receiver impeded the defender.
Oh, he didn't though. No, he didn't actually. Oh yeah, he did. He threw his elbow at him. God, you got to be better than
So
that.
did they get another chance?
Well, I mean, they go back 5 yards, and then or they can go back 5
So just
yards
kick it.
from the kick, but the kick's 5 yards further back now too. So
That's okay. Just take the point. They're gonna go, don't tell me you're gonna go for 5 yards back. They're going for 2 again. Wait, what are they gonna do? Just kick it. Just take the point.
well, pass interference. Then they go back more than 5 yards. It's gonna be like 10 yards. So that'd be like a 50-yard field goal for a point. So
Well, it looked like there was two flags, and I don't have the volume up, so I couldn't exactly hear what he said.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Illegal pick.
It's all right. I don't think
But
Mike McCarthy has the volume up in his own brain.
But this is interesting because if we can get a stop, we're not totally out of the. Oh God, he can't kick. He's not gonna. What is going on? He's gonna miss this. This is actually pretty far back. 5 yards. This is not a gimme. Okay, I'll wait for you to catch up.
It's like a 40. It's like a 40. It's like a 43-yarder for a point. That's desperate.
Oh my! I'm not gonna tell you what just happened.
Of course, he's gonna. It's either gonna block.
Let me
doink.
just. It was a doink. Sorry for playing spoiler.
Mike McCarthy has spoiled every season so far.
So you basically got
all that
nothing. So now you have so McCarthy screws it up because now you got the touchdown and you got 0 extra points. McCarthy, my God.
Yeah, if you just kicked the field goal to begin with, right? It would have been automatic.
Exactly correct.
Oh, it's terrible.
Oh my God. Boink. He's got to go. Even if they win this game, and they think I'd still fire him tomorrow and just put somebody else in.
It's brutal. Absolutely brutal.
Oh my God. So now 4-16. Oh my God. So they're like 3 scores, and they're going to prevent them from scoring again. So I think they're just going to run out of. My Lord. Excuse me. I just can't. Like, when you are in the playoffs, you cannot miss. Like, you can't make these mistakes. It can't happen. Oh my Lord. It's just so undisciplined. If Buck froze, but he looks frozen to me. All right. So now we're going to see if the Dallas Cowboys, the Packers, get the ball back and score 3 times in order. Very unlikely because I don't think they're going to be able to stop from scoring again, which will make it scores, and then they just at least get it.
There we go. Are you back?
Get it with. Yeah, I was was just telling everybody that it's a 3-score game now. They're not going
Yeah.
to be able to stop the Packers from scoring again, in my opinion.
Oh
So
no,
it'll be a force.
it's over.
They must stop them here before it goes to the fourth quarter.
Right. So, hey, the stream's actually live on YouTube and doing well. There you go.
Wow,
Excellent.
that's fantastic.
That's
Welcome
amazing.
to all this. I'm not a big fan of the referee about any of these. I don't even care anymore if
Oh yeah, the Dean
refs got the call
Blandino
right.
nonsense.
So, Dean, was that a good call? No, actually, that wasn't a good call. That's wrong.
And we could do nothing about it.
Yeah, but we can't like we can't review it. We can't. It's just wrong. And even though we're gonna watch the replay 15 times, the ball will stand. It's wonderful.
So let's see. There's about 2.5 minutes left here in the third quarter. They're down 18. So that's 3 touchdowns basically to win the game. So they have to score on 3 possessions and prevent the Packers from scoring at all.
Well, see, because of McCarthy, the fact that, oh my God, they just wiped off the fact that point. So that's now been destroyed. So now it's even. So like this is McCarthy. It's like you can't get any advantage with this guy because ruin everything and just makes it harder and harder on so bad, and they're just torching this defense. Like this is.
And what did I say last year after the San Francisco game when I got a little tipsy and we were live streaming on the Tweeter Twits? I was like, the season is going to start basically next year. I don't even
Oh
want
my God!
I don't.
I'm gonna just wait. Let's not even talk. Let's just wait till you catch up. And you this happens. Explain to me how this can even happen in the National Football League. How can this happen? Just you tell me. Explain it to me.
He was literally off of his back foot again.
No,
so
nobody covered the tight end. Nobody covered him. There wasn't even a defender near that side of the field.
So at this point, so now you're up 24. I mean, that's a curse as a disaster this season. Absolutely. This is an absolute train wreck. Oh no, I lost you. So, but yeah, this is an absolute train wreck. If you're a Dallas Cowboys fan and you support Mike McCarthy after the next 45 minutes, that's just such a sad thing.
So. And they panned to Jerry Jones, and he just this isn't good enough. Oh God, blah blah blah.
So yeah, so basically, the long and the short of it is, no, Mike McCarthy is absolutely horrible. There is, at this point, that play right there, 0 chance Dan Quinn or Mike McCarthy are the coach next year. 0.
Well, the thing is though, the problem is so Dan Quinn is a defensive coach, so the defense is getting shredded.
Yeah,
and so like there'd be no sense in even it wouldn't even make sense to have him become the head coach, anyways. Like it's just like I can't even imagine that there's no safety help there to track the tight end just came clear across the field and there was nobody even near him. Wow.
Here we go.
No, this is better. What is that, Space Invader?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. See, this is the way games were meant to be.
Like, how sad is it? I've resigned myself to this season being over, and I am 100% playing Space Invaders. Do you know what I mean?
Man, I remember. My neighbor across the street had the Atari. We never had any of that stuff, but it was like always so awesome to be able to go over there and play Space Invader. Just amazing.
I'm gonna go faster here.
It gets more difficult as they get closer to you.
Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you how horribly difficult this is for me now. It's unreal. Okay, so we've got. Let me see.
They start to move faster, which is what it's great. Now, is it that can you only shoot once and it has to go all the way to the top before you can
Yeah,
shoot
basically.
again?
So if you miss, you're toast. Basically.
Okay, you're toast right here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There it is. Sat down on me. Right?
That was basically like watching Dallas play Green Bay right there.
Absolutely unbelievable. I can get rid of that.
So here's the interesting thing.
Yeah.
If Dallas can score here before the end of the third,
Yes.
then we once again we got a game, baby. We got a game.
You're insane. They are not gonna stop them. They're gonna stop.
But did you think that the defense was going to be this bad?
No, I did not think they were gonna be this bad. But like, I told my mom, I was like, hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, the Cowboys are gonna come out 3-and-out basically, and they did. Dak got lucky, and then essentially went 3-and-out the next series. I mean, the next set of downs. So I mean, once they went 3-and-out to start the game, basically, I was like, they're going to be down 14 without blinking, and then you have the pick six and it's over. So it's like there's just no way.
And the thing that's awesome in a way, what's awesome is that this is taking place in Dallas and with home field advantage.
Oh yeah, because that's all we heard, right? Cowboys are so good, undefeated this season, totally different team at home.
Yep.
They need to win the divisions. Oh, he just hurt his hand. There it is.
Oh God.
He just jammed his finger right there. So there's your season if you didn't know. That's a catch.
Oh my God, it's so bad.
So even if they did come back and win, Dak is going to be, unserviceable. That's a terrible challenge by Green Bay. You are up by 25 points. This is like ridiculous. That's 25 points, right? So my math is bad. So
I can't even add to that high of a number, to be quite honest.
Oh my God, this is so bad.
So and here's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
They're basically going to waste the career of Micah Parsons. He'll just be like a wasted, then they'll have to get rid of him.
Right.
And then he'll go on some other team. So it's just a waste. And then you're going to need another quarterback. Like, this is just going to spiral. And then Brandon Cooks he'll want out. And then CeeDee Lamb's going to be like, why the hell am I even here? I can go play on a team that can actually win. This is just has the potential to take the whole organization down.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what's bad about it.
They're like a 9-win team from now on. And I'm going to just say it right now. First of all, trading Amari Cooper away for a 5th rounder, right, and signing Gallup to basically the same money you could have kept Amari for was about the dumbest GM decision of the decade.
Yes.
And then, not just trying to say, hey, Zeke, we'll give you a hometown discount. Please just stay, right?
Let me tell you something. All the Dallas fans out there that were down on Zeke, he was absolutely the Patriots' best player down the stretch of the end of the season. The guy can still block. He can still catch out of the backfield. He's super smart, and he can still run. Like, the guy, you guys were crazy for getting rid of him.
Absolutely.
Like, he could do. He was clear. He was the Patriots' best offensive player. That's not saying a lot, but it's still he was. and I think somebody's going to pick him up. He's got a couple more years in him, no question, at a high level.
It,
And he was a great. All the indications were he was a great teammate and a great locker room guy. Like
yeah,
it was not a distraction at all.
like I mean, Dak just can't. Dak literally, this looks like a preseason game. This is so bad.
So that they
It's
just
fourth and
threw it
five.
away on fourth.
Yeah, 4th and 5, and they're throwing it away. Does he not know that it's fourth down?
What? Like, why did he just chuck it up? Chuck it like how? What that was the play call?
And
Just
you're
chuck
throwing,
it.
and it's 4th and 5, and it's Tolbert. Like, what are you doing? They totally gave up on Mike McCarthy. They all know that he's fired. I guarantee you, once Belichick announced he was retiring or quitting or whatever, that whole team basically just was like, "There's no way we're keeping McCarthy."
This is so
Unbelievable.
bad.
Unbelievable.
The thing is though, you have to like suffer through the regular season to get to this point, and the Super Bowl is always like anticlimactic in my opinion.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
playoffs is the best part of the entire season,
Right.
and you just get like you get Houston smashing like
Cleveland. Yeah, that was a
the
terrible
Browns.
game, basically. Unless
That
you're a
was just
Houston fan,
painful.
it was painful
Yeah,
to.
I'm glad Houston won, but like that was just painful. And now this is just absolute garbage.
I fell asleep during. Okay, so I paid twice for Peacock, and I actually fell asleep during the Chiefs Dolphins game. Right, I literally fell asleep.
So
Uh,
I was not able to watch that game. So like, how did Miami look? Were they just completely outmatched?
well, I mean
Or
that. First of all, that entire team is run by like a vaping teenager, right? Like he may be a genius, but he's a terrible game manager. And I mean, he's out there like he's on his Xbox, and you know how the kid is like really good at the Xbox, and then all of a
yeah.
sudden his like one trick pony show doesn't work, and all of a sudden he doesn't know what to do because his one trick pony doesn't work, and then he's like, I want to go home.
Well,
Uh,
let me tell
I
you
want to
something.
play the
And
I don't want to play the Xbox anymore.
this is cliche, but like all that stuff, like when you got a quirky like personality like that, and I think some of the stuff he says is pretty hysterical, but it's going to wear really thin really quickly if they're not winning, and that is the risk you run when you're just that quirky and weird.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And
Because
so
like he's just like it's not going to be funny when you just get blown out and you just like he's they're gonna you know what I mean he'd be a good guy to get as an offensive. I wouldn't mind having him as an offensive coordinator, but like that team is pretty talented. They spent a lot of money on getting the wide receiver over there, but like yeah, you can't just get. And it's not like Kansas City is like wicked awesome this year.
right,
That's just terrible.
yeah, it's actually yeah 100% like. Uh, the Dolphins kind of like peaked and they're receding. Eagles, same way. They peaked and are receding real quick. It's amazing how this stuff kind of comes together and falls apart like over like 1 or 2 years.
And
And then
here's something they just panned to a guy on the Green Bay. Oh, they are just getting torched. The running game, they can't stop the run at all.
367 yards.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Jordan Love hasn't even thrown that much. He's only thrown for 259. My god, they're just getting torched with the run game.
Mm.
Like look at these holes. Those are Emmett Smith sized holes he's running through.
So this, and I hate to say it, but I'm totally vindicated on the draft when they drafted Mazzie Smith out of frickin' Michigan. I was like, this is a waste of a pick, and they're like, no, he's gonna really shore up the run defense. I'm like, yeah, he hadn't even yeah, Dak is completely checked out. Like he has that 1,000-yard stare.
Well, okay, so let's get back to we were alluding to it earlier.
Yeah.
So here's the problem with Dak. Dak's not a spring chicken anymore.
Oh no,
He's been in the league for a while. Like you're gonna have to get a quarterback.
right. Next year is his 9th season. So basically he has roughly 3 years in his like prime window, right?
Yep.
Like you cannot go more than about 12 years, right? Like that's it. You're capped at 11 to 12 years. Look at Russell Wilson, right?
Yep.
Like so he has about maybe and what's so sad is they wasted all of those Dak years on Jason Garrett, and then
Yep.
they wasted the other half of Dak's years on McCarthy. They're literally the same person.
Right.
And, it's just until Jerry puts down the bottle and actually decides to hire a general manager to run the team properly, it doesn't matter how many times he puts Jimmy Johnson in the Ring of Honor. It's never going to be made right. Like he already made the deal with the devil. Like it's over. Like he's Al Davis. It's not gonna happen for this guy. He's like the guy. He's the old divorcee at the bar who just can't pick up chicks. Like it's over for you, dude. Like you just you know no none of these girls care how much money you have, what you drive. It is over. Like it's not happening.
It's amazing that a team can be this consistently bad in the playoffs for such an extended period of time. I just can't. I can't. It's almost unfair. And I think you're right. I think part of the problem is because it's like dry January or sober curious January.
Right.
I think part of the problem is these guys are raging alcoholics, and you don't the public facing side of these guys is not like the reality of it. Like
Right.
and they're not capable of making good decisions. It, it's
Well, yeah. Like
it's like
so, and if you think about it, where have the Dallas Cowboys always been a disaster just for the last, 30 years? I mean, even during the Jimmy Johnson era, they lost to the frickin' Dolphins on that little snow, field goal game, right? They lost to the
yep
Browns, right? It seems like when is the heavier drinking component of our lives, right? It is literally Thanksgiving through New Year's, right?
right
Is essentially when it's like, hey, I've been good all year. I haven't had any drinks. It's Thanksgiving. Screw it. I'll have a cocktail. Or it's like, hey, it's the Christmas party season. We got a couple of Christmas parties, a couple of charity events. I'll just knock a couple of back, right?
yep
And then it's like, it's New Year's. I'll have a little, prosecco. It's no big deal, right? Well, the truth is your body chemistry 100% changes when you like add alcohol into the mix. And
yep
I'm just wondering. It's a fair hypothesis. I know we're live streaming, and I know I didn't drink all year, and I enjoyed alcohol over the Christmas season. And let me tell you, I noticed a huge difference in just my entire body chemistry over that like 10-day span. I was like, maybe not having a drink would be a wiser choice. You know,
Well, I think the problem is
yeah,
when you've got like raging alcoholics like trying to be like how serious are these organizations when it comes to actually finding ways to win? Because I'm not seeing a lot of evidence that like all of these guys are really focused on that task. And I think Jerry Jones is one of the worst. I think
let's look at the Tennessee Titans just as an example, right? You have Vrabel, who's arguably one of the better coaches in the entire league, right?
right.
Perennial playoff appearances, right? Just, I mean, and he's like,
Oh, you're not gonna like this. You're not
sorry,
gonna like
he's
this.
cooking. He's literally cooking with what? He's cooking with Tannehill, right?
Right.
He's cooking with Tannehill, and you give away AJ Brown, like, and then it's like, oh wow, our offense, declined after we gave away AJ Brown, and Vrabel's like devastated, and now you're gonna get rid of Vrabel? Like, you're the one that hamstrung him. Like, it's an absolute disaster.
Well, and the crazy thing is, here's what I don't understand. It's like you got a guy who's been successful on some. He's got experience like in the college game. He was a really great player. He's a coach's coach, and he's a no nonsense kind of guy. And he has a philosophy of what he wants. And then you're like, we're gonna take away your best player, and we're gonna get a general manager who doesn't agree with you at all and doesn't want you here.
Right.
And then he gets scapegoated
Right.
rather than just focusing on making the team better. And it's like, well, a coach can only do so much. Um,
Right.
it's just it's so bad.
It's absolutely terrible. Let's see if I
And it's like they don't learn from like from other teams. It's like, well, look at all the organizations that, and the fact of the matter is, and this is the reality, the Patriots organization no better than any of these other organizations. The It's becoming more and more clear that the reason that thing held together is because they just got lucky. They got super lucky. It was like they won the lottery with Brady,
right.
and now we're seeing what the ownership actually is and what the leadership actually is, and they are just no, they're just the same as everybody else, and they're just making bad decision after bad decision, and they don't have their binky anymore, so you got nobody to mask all the problems, and that's so they're just
Yeah.
any other team now. I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah. It's it, and I mean, I go back. So I remember I used to go to the playoff games when I was a kid. My dad would take me, and it was awesome. And we won 3 Super Bowls, and it was great. So I have all this like soft, yummy memories, right? And I know y'all went through a great experience up there in Boston over the last 20 plus years. So that's awesome. But um, what I find fascinating is, I went through this like weird, like Romo era where it was kind of this charlatan promise of being like something that you're not. And then
Right,
they kind of turned the same stuff with Dak, where it's like, hey, this is the year they're finally going to turn. And they just kept, just, one more time. It's like it's a slot machine. It's like put your coins in one more time. It's gonna pay off this time.
right.
And you know, for me, I made an emotional break. Like I'm always gonna love the Cowboys, even if I think Jerry is a blithering, fool. Whatever. That's neither here nor there. But like in 2014, when Dez caught it, right, and clearly like turned 180 degrees, lunged towards the goal line, right, and then the ball comes out when he hits the ground. Like in the original iteration of the game, the ground can't cause a fumble, right? And
Right.
so really what it was he lunged to the end zone, fumbled, and recovered his own fumble. Like that's
Yeah.
what actually happened in football. But like when that happened, we were on the text thread at that point. I remember I told you, I was like, I am done like emotionally investing at this
Yes, you
point.
said that. You said that.
And so, I will invest into the entertainment component of it, but like I'm not gonna like 2014 version of me would not be able to be like even having a conversation with you right now. Do you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And especially 2008 version of me would have been like absolutely horrible. But to be around. But I feel like um
Because you still had hope back then.
well, I had, I will say this. When Romo was a complete D-bag when I met him at summer camp, right? And he was like really just the most dismissive, horrible person you could ever hope to like cross paths with. That was like 2008, and I was like, I'm out on like being a fan of these type of people.
Yep. Yep.
And then he went on to like go to Cabo and just crap the bed in the playoffs, and I was like, he doesn't even care. I remember Staubach. I'm not actually that old, but like I remember Staubach caring, and I remember Aikman yelling at his offensive line about like, "Hey, let's do this." And so this whole new era of football players, none of them care.
No.
So I mean, they all get to go to the parties and have all the fun anyway. So like they don't have to like win anything. Do you know what I mean?
Correct. Yep.
And
Exactly.
it's like being a reality star. You don't actually have to marry the girl at the end of the show. Y'all will all get your own. You'll be on Dancing with the Stars, and you'll get to come back and go to like a different summer dating program. It's like the idea of it meaning anything is like completely lost.
Yeah.
So
Well, and I think this is why. So apparently, I met I was out to dinner and I met some folks that live like right near Tom Brady and Bob Kraft from the Patriots, and like
Yeah.
they would see like they've bumped into Bob Kraft many times, and so they were saying like apparently he's like a raging alcoholic, and he gets obliterated like in the real world, and he gets like carted out of the restaurant after being in there for hours and hours. They can't even walk. And the thing is though, you don't they hide all that stuff from the public. So the public facing perception is that he's just like this wonderful philanthropist guy, and some of that might be true, but the end of the day, the reality of like what these guys actually are in the real world and what we see is completely different. And I think the reason I'm saying that is because yeah, he might own the team, but
Right.
you just won the lottery with us. You found Roger Staubach when you got Brady, and Brady
Right.
was like,
Right.
"I'm only going to eat avocados, and I'm going to be the first one in the building, and I'm going to do it for 22 years in a row or whatever."
Right.
And he was just a maniac.
Right.
Like he wasn't like anybody else, and he's a
Right.
weird dude, and he's kind of like very. I guess everything with him is just like he's just a maniac, and you just that's what happened. It was like the rest of it is not like, well, this is just a superior organization. It's like, no, you just happen to get the one guy who's a complete like lunatic, and the reality is you're just a bunch of alcoholics, and you don't know what you're doing, and it's a freaking mess. And that's
Right.
what we've seen since Brady's been gone. Like,
Right.
there's nothing to indicate that there's any control or that any of this is like world class. You know what I'm trying to say?
He was a disaster with the Browns, and then he gets run out of Cleveland. And then there's like that whole Jets disaster of like the stop start, and then he goes to New England, and then magically gets Brady, and it all works out, right? And now
Right.
it's a disaster again.
Yep.
So to your point, like it's literally makes you wonder, you know, would the Cowboys dodge a bullet, not bringing Belichick in? Honestly, you know what I mean? Because they're not going to get. It is second and goal, and Dak can't. Like, what is going on with this offensive line? What is happening with this offensive line for them to not be able to like just push forward 4 yards? Like,
Whoa! You're gonna like this. You're gonna like
I'm
this.
sure. I'm sure it will.
Gives us hope. I think they can still come back.
Yeah, with 6 minutes, right? 3 onside kicks, right? I think only Peyton Manning could accomplish this. Literally, Ferguson is the only thing that is actually positive about this team. Like Ferguson needs to be like given all the money. He's literally the next Travis Kelsey. Like he's amazing, and the rest of the team is an absolute disaster.
Yeah, and I think that's what's going on here. I think that fundamentally we are led to believe that things are different than they actually are. And the
Yeah.
reality is, no, what we're seeing is the reality now.
Right.
This is how it's always been, and it was just masked by the fact that you had people that were able to overcome the dysfunction in
Right.
spite of the dysfunction.
Right.
And now you're seeing that this is actually what it is. With Dallas, it's like Jerry Jones still going to have some excuse. Like, what's he going to say? Like, he's not going to take any accountability. Like, you think he's going to say, "I've got to look in the mirror. I've got to maybe change some things"? No, he's just going to do the same thing he's always done, and they're going to lose again next year.
Well, my heart breaks for some of these boys. We put together a team that we felt had a real chance. We put together a team that felt like we had a real chance at the prize. You know, it takes a lot of work and effort to get here into the playoffs, and playoffs is what you play for. Playoffs is what you play for. This is the way it goes sometimes when you're here, and it just doesn't go the way you want it to go. So we're gonna take a look at the tape. We're gonna do some soul searching, and there you go. And we're gonna get you a sling blade. You know, it's like it's just terrible.
Well, and do you remember, like, I think it was like 1 or 2 years ago, Jerry jumped on some podcast with these two guys that were
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
getting in his face, and
yeah,
he was like, "You don't talk to me like that."
yeah.
It's like, well, dude, it's not our fault that you guys continue to flame out. But Jerry Jones is like, "How dare you
Did you enjoy
criticize me?"
them 3 Super Bowls? Did you enjoy them 3 Super Bowls? Did
Right.
you enjoy Yes, absolutely. When I was in college,
Right. These kids weren't even born yet when those
you know,
Super Bowls happened.
I don't know. I've had like a couple of mortgages since then. Like, come on.
It's
Like, life is like, how many cars have I had since the cow? Like, hold on. I'm gonna count right now. Well, hold on. I'm gonna count for you right now. Since the Cowboys won the Super Bowl, okay, not including the one I had when like in '96. So hold on. So I had one, two, uh, three, uh, four, five,
you
six,
got a couple cars now, right?
seven. I've got two now. So I've had 9 or 10 cars
Yep.
since
They won the Super Bowl.
they won the Super Bowl.
That's sad. But no, the reality is he's gonna fire McCarthy, but the problem is you hired McCarthy.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's like this is the problem. It isn't firing McCarthy that's the problem.
Right.
It's that you hired McCarthy, which is the problem, and that's the problem.
Right.
And it's just like I fundamentally and people are, well, Kraft he's just an amazing businessman, so they're geniuses. It's like, dude, the guy was kind of, he married into money. He bought a team. All the valuations on every team have gone up. It isn't like he just got lucky. I mean, it like, okay, if he's a genius, if this is the Patriots way, then how come it's a disaster? Like, why weren't you able to pivot? It's like, because it's not that. It's not that at all. Like, this is why the Dallas Cowboys are never going to win,
Yep.
because Jerry Jones is incapable of getting this to the point where they can ever win. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's he can't. It's not possible.
We can't
And
do it.
even when you had Jimmy Johnson, what did he do? He tried to destroy it.
Right. Yeah, because he wanted the credit for it. And that's really the thing, right? That's what it all boils down to is Jerry Jones is this classical, almost biblical figure.
Yeah,
What a terrible effort on that onside kick. I mean,
terrible.
this team is absolutely a joke. So, but Jerry Jones is almost a biblical tragic character, right? Like, he's getting up there like, with the Homer, the Odyssey and the Iliad and Gilgamesh and all that stuff. Like, this is a person who literally, you know, was a wildcatter, gambled, won, and then his own hubris pissed away the one thing that he actually cares about, which is the respect for winning the game,
Right.
right? And he traded all of that for all the riches in the world, right? And all of building up Frisco into a little metropolis and having a $250 million yacht, all of that stuff. He is absolutely a clown. He
Yep.
is a multi-billionaire clown, and I don't care if he bans me from the stadium, like, for saying he's a clown. Like, I don't care if, like, they're like, "Oh, you're not a cow." It's like, I'm actually a Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
I met Rayfield Wright, love Rayfield Wright. I love Drew Pearson. Like, I was a Cowboys fan before Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones was going to buy the Chargers. It didn't work out, and he ended up buying the Cowboys. That's what happened, right? It could have been the Chargers, right?
Yep.
For me, it could never have been the Chargers, right?
Right.
So Jerry is not as much of a Cowboys fan as I am, and he can
Right.
like suck an egg, like, absolutely. Maybe he can, suck an egg and chase it with some more bourbon or whatever he likes to drink. But I feel like at this point, right? Good for him for putting Jimmy in the ring, but even that isn't going to cleanse his soul, right? There
Right.
comes a point where you've done enough damage that, like, there's no crawling back from that hole, and that's what he's done.
Yep.
He should not be respected in Dallas Fort Worth, in my opinion. He's literally just, you know, he's not even a Texan. Like, you know what I mean? He's like he's just uh I don't know. It, it's just I don't know.
He's a flim flam man.
He's a flim flam carpetbagger. That's what they called him back in the day, right?
Yep.
So
He's a flim flam man. So it's like, yeah, it just goes to show you. And I'm not just picking on the Patriots or or Dallas per se. It's like this in other organizations.
oh,
Like
absolutely.
obviously there's problems in Tennessee.
Problems in
There's
Jersey.
obviously problems in Cincinnati.
Yep.
There are reasons that certain teams are perennial losers.
Right.
I mean, I think we can clearly say that Jacksonville has got a problem.
Yep.
Like with ownership, and
Yep.
and the thing is though, you can't just say, well, because like a guy is successful in business, in some other business,
Right.
that they could just get an NFL team and they're just going to make it work, because that's clearly not at all how this works. Because if you really think about it, the Green Bay Packers, they probably should have won more Super Bowls, but this team has never been. They've been great, generally speaking, for the past 20 years. They've
Oh
been a
yeah.
really unbelievably good winning franchise,
Yeah.
and they don't even like have an owner. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, that's really the best thing, isn't it? Right? They're like a constitutional republic, really. You know?
Yeah, and everybody says, and I haven't been to a game, but I've been like to Green Bay, and everybody says it's like one of the best experiences because everybody in that area is completely bought in to the culture of being
Yeah.
a Green Bay Packer fan, and
Absolutely.
you're not gonna get that, like, and you can see that like Carolina, you just get a lunatic like billionaire owner who's just never gonna win, and Jacksonville seems to be the same way. Billionaire owner, never going to win. And there's something to be said about, like, a lot of it has to be like you said, you're a dyed in the wool Cowboys fan, but that's not really what a lot of these teams are anymore. They're
Right.
just like investment portfolio things, and you can't get emotionally invested in it because
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, in 2014, that's when I emotionally checked out. Now
yep,
I'm a nostalgic fan, right?
yeah,
So I'm a fan for nostalgia. I'm a fan of the entertainment. But if it like literally last year it was the Eagles versus the Chiefs, and I was actually pulling for the Eagles over the Chiefs because I was tired of like the Chiefs show. Do you know what I mean?
right,
So
yep,
like I'll get into like the entertainment narrative of it. Do you know what I mean?
yep,
So this year, obviously, I'd love to see the Texans just shock. Like if it's the Texans and the 49ers, that's a great narrative because of D'Amico Ryans, right?
yep.
There's like I want to see something that's actually like compelling on my TV. And unfortunately, the Dallas Cowboys are not compelling. They're absolutely the same song and dance. You can only be a nostalgic fan if you're a Cowboys fan. Like it's literally like being an old Red Sox fan before the early 2000s, right? It's like being an old Cubs fan, right? You just were a fan, right? Period. Oh my gosh.
And what I'm telling you, CeeDee Lamb is going to want out of Dallas so
Oh,
bad.
he's done. Yep, he's out. 100%. This might be his last game in Dallas for
Yeah,
sure.
he's too good to be on this team.
Yep. Right now, you blow it up, you get like 5 picks for him or whatever it is. I really feel like Jerry messed up by not going for Stroud in this last draft because Stroud was like hands down, and I got the Twitter receipts to prove it.
We got
Like,
Twitter receipts.
but like you know, getting Stroud would have been how to reset this franchise for another decade, and it's just terrible. Absolutely.
Well, and so, and you know this because we talked about it, but I was really hoping that Detroit could turn things around because, like, there's something to be said about like Dan Campbell. Like, even though he might not be the greatest like X's and O's coach, but there's something that I like about that old school
Yeah.
style of coach. I feel I so contrast that with the Miami coach or with
Hey.
Sean McVay or whatever. There's something to be said about football being played a certain way and having a certain swagger.
Yeah.
And I like that. And I think the Steelers have that a little bit. They're just not talented enough. But
Yeah.
like I like the Buffalo Bills because I like the fact it's in Buffalo and it's a small market and it's a blue collar team. And say what you want about their coach, but it's like there's an edge, there's a nostalgia. I don't know. I don't think you have that with some of these franchises. They're not. You have a team, but they're not. They're not. That's why I'm hoping the Detroit Lions can like turn
Fergie
it
Ferg
around.
with 3 touchdowns. Are you kidding me? What an absolute disaster this is. He literally should have been the primary for this entire scheme today,
Yep.
tearing up the Packers, and they should have come out straight out of the gates to Ferguson, and they didn't. Unbelievable. I'm
Well,
sorry.
that's the problem. They were not willing to move off a Lamb, so he's going to run one in. So let's say 32. So they're really not that far up. Like if they had more time, they could actually be back in this game. But
Well, yeah, I
it's just
mean,
too little, too late.
if they had 90-minute games in the NFL, lots of people could come back.
No, but like, where was this earlier? Like what is going on? I mean, they still scored 32 points. That most times that's enough to win a game. But it's just like you just so like sorry. So if you take away the pick, so what is it? 48-32. If you take away the pick, it's only a 10-point game right now
Well,
with 3 minutes to go.
they did miss a field goal, right? So it would still be like a 9-point game, right?
Oh, you're right. They missed the field goal.
So
But if they hit that field goal,
it could still theoretically be a 9-point game.
wow.
Yeah. So if the Cowboys hadn't missed their extra point, right?
Yeah.
Then maybe, but it's not impossible here. They could get 2 onside kicks, right? There's about a 4% chance of that happening. So,
but it's embarrassing that like it took you 3/4 of the game
to figure out your tight end game, basically.
Yeah, to change anything.
Well,
Like,
I'm going to tell you
bullshit.
I'm going to tell you, as terrible as Dak was, and Dak was terrible today.
Yeah.
That defense, what a horrible onside kick. It went 7 yards.
So the Green Bay Packers, it just said, have been in 9 NFC Championship games. Wait,
Longest droughts.
They're not in the championship game yet, though. I don't understand that graphic.
Longest championship droughts is Washington, Detroit, and Dallas. 36 wins is the most in a 3-year span without a championship. That's a great graphic. That's excellent. Oh my God. And like I said, this year I'm not going to get tipsy because last year I was devastated because Kittle was ineligible, and I don't care who wants to argue with me. Like, if you go through the rule and you look at the way they were lined up, he was covered up and was ineligible to go downfield for a pass. Everyone knows it who knows football. If you don't want to admit it, you're lying to yourself, or you don't understand football and the rules. But anyway, so that's why I was so mad, because the Cowboys got robbed last year by that play pivoting that game, because basically the entire game hinges on shutting the 49ers down on that on that play. I mean, on that drive. And so, so last year I was upset. This year I'm not upset. I'm just laughably what's the word? What is it when you're proven right? Vindicated.
Yeah, vindication.
Yes, I'm cynically vindicated. How about that?
And the thing is, the last thing I want is to have the San Francisco 49ers back in the Super Bowl. Like, it's just, it's horrible. And don't get me wrong, I was a big San Francisco guy back in the 80s. That was a great team.
Sure.
But, like, I don't like I don't like their coach. I don't like their scheme. I don't like anything about them. I don't want them in the Super Bowl. I want somebody else. Like, I'm sick of the same teams being in the Super Bowl year after year.
Right. All right. See, let me
Oh,
see.
man.
I'm gonna pull up the design. I'm gonna see since we're here anyway. We can do a little. Watch this. Oh, a little change of graphics.
Oh, there we go.
Right?
Well, so let's do this. When this game is over, let's recharge a bit. We'll come back on, maybe do some Detroit action.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
I got to charge my phone up a little bit before that, but we'll get a stream going if you want to do that.
Yeah, or if we want to check in at halftime again of the second game, you want to do that?
Yeah, whatever works. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, let's do. Let's meet up at halftime of the second game. Obviously, this is going to be 55 to 32 here.
Well, look it's 4th and 7, so Dallas is going to get the ball back. So they're not. Let's hang out here to see if Dallas can get a quick score, and then we'll if they flame out, we'll cut it off till the Detroit halftime.
Like, if you're Green Bay, why are you not just like kneeling on it and get to the 2-minute warning?
Well, because the coaches are stupid. That's the problem.
God, like, what are they actually doing? Like, they're trying to sell a few more, big pharma ads or something. Like, what's going on? Like,
they're trying to, like.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
Oh boy, they're not gonna have good field position. Well, let's see if they can go to the tight end a few times here. They have no timeouts. They're gonna have to be efficient.
Well, they get the 2-minute warning basically.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. They get the 2-minute.
So Turpin fair catches down 16. Okay. I mean, okay, come on. What are we doing? How do you fair catch down?
Well, how do you know that? Well, but we don't know if McCarthy told him to do that or not. Whatever you do, don't take it out of don't run it. Just fair catch.
Hey, what's up?
Here we go. Here we go. Come on.
Are you devastated? Are you devastated?
What?
My mom just rolled in.
All right.
Are you devastated, Gigi? It's pretty bad. So
tell us how she really feels.
Yeah, how do you really feel, Mom? So do you think Mike McCarthy's going to get fired? That is awesome. Oh, it's so bad.
What did she say? Did she say yes?
She just crossed her fingers like this.
Oh, they have to. They have to fire him.
Yeah.
All right. The problem is when you throw to the inside of the field, the clock doesn't stop. They're not going to be able to get a playoff before the 2-minute warning. Oh, what an idiotic play!
But yeah, of course. What, they're going to throw it like?
Oh my God! This is where people are going to argue that Belichick would be better right now, even though he's not going to be because he's old and cranky.
What are we doing this for when there's like 2 seconds before the 2-minute warning? Just let it run to the 2-minute warning. You already made the stupid call to get the ball to the 25-yard line. Just accept that it's a 2-minute warning.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
It's really bad.
So wouldn't it be hilarious if we did witness a miracle here in 2 minutes, though? Like,
well, the problem is they don't have any timeouts, so I just don't think they're going to have enough time. I think.
Right. I mean, basically, what they need is a long strike to Cooks, basically, or CeeDee Lamb, basically.
Yep.
And then if that were to happen, then what you'd have is, then you have maybe 45 seconds if you get the onside kick, right?
Yeah. So, they have to get the onside kick.
Right, but they failed twice on the onside kick already, and statistically, they're due. See, this is why I would love that 4th and 12 XFL rule, right? Where you get like one play instead of an actual kick. Do you know what I mean? Because
all right, so I got a question while we're waiting for the game to start up.
All right.
So my beard is kind of like bushy and full right now, and I'm gonna get it trimmed.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of just shaving right here so there's no beard right on my chin and just leaving the chops coming back down like that.
Okay.
Or doing something else. And what would you do if you had a beard long enough to get it trimmed professionally? Should I just go for the shave it right down the middle, or
I
should I
mean,
just?
well, that's what mine's doing with the gray. See, so like,
Yeah.
my question is, do you think I should actually like just color this in and get it going again? Do
Well,
much,
I don't have like a lot of gray hair,
do
so
much
like I
I
don't have
know
that
you
problem.
have a much less stressful life than me. Obviously, I got the gray hair and the no hair up here.
Well, I don't have to root for the Dallas Cowboys like
I
you do,
know the
so
Dallas
I'm less
Cowboys have
stressed.
ruined my hairline. Absolutely.
But I'm thinking I'm gonna go to some place that actually can like trim it
So
up properly.
I would say go for it, but then resign yourself to the idea that if you don't like it, you're just gonna start fresh. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So like go for it and then resign yourself to if you don't like it, just start over.
So I was looking at this place that does like beard trims, but they have like the pictures of the barbers,
Yeah.
and like one of the guys has kind of got that really weird looking, like the mustache handlebar thing and the nose ring,
Yeah.
and like it's just kind of weird looking. And I'm like, so I have to find the right barber first, and it's kind of stressful because like, and then they want to do like a straight razor shave, and I don't really want to have a straight razor up against my neck.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go for just the classic trim, I think.
Yeah.
Because
That sounds good.
although I will say the bigger, bushier beards are better because I've already gone through that period where it gets in my mouth, and now it's past that. So like I'm not eating it all the time, which is what you want,
Right.
but it's kind of like unruly, and I look like a crazy person when I'm walking around with this.
Yeah. I've kind of
But
let mine go.
yeah, yours is good. But what I've noticed is like if your beard's too short, nobody compliments you on it. And if it's super big, that you get tons of compliments. So
I'm
it's
gonna
like it's kind of like a weird dynamic.
I'm gonna tell you
Nobody really cares about like a short beard. It's just like, yeah, big freaking whoop.
what I get is, I'll like kind of grow it like this a little bit and then I'll like take it off, right?
Yeah.
You can go through the cycle.
Yeah.
And when I take it off, that's when I get all the compliments. Girls are like,
When you take the beard off completely?
yeah, like when I'll like, I'll basically go down to, baby face again, and they're like, "Oh, I liked it so much better. You need the facial." I'm like, "Okay, I didn't know it's that ugly." But
Wait, they like the beard better or the short
yeah,
beard?
I get a lot of feedback. Well, so there's basically two camps. There's the girl who's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you shaved. I love it." Right?
Yeah.
That's the majority of my
Right.
experience. And then you get like a minority of like the, "Oh, you didn't shave for me?" And you're like,
Right. But
"Okay,
that's the minority though.
yes." There's nothing I don't know if there's anything worse than like, picking
That's
someone.
very condescending. That's
I know.
almost like
Yeah. High
like
maintenance.
it's
Yeah.
like no, because what happens is when it's too short though, it's you got to remember it's rougher, it's like harsher when it's shorter.
Right.
When it gets longer, it gets super soft, and then
Right.
if you put like product in it, it gets very very soft, and it's very nice. It's very pleasurable,
Yes.
and so there is something to be said. But the problem is it's not really presentable like in every like if your beard's too long you just you end up looking like a I end up looking like a Viking, you know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and the people are like afraid of me when I walk down the street, so I
Right.
have to find a balance.
Okay.
Oh my god, Lamb almost had a spectacular grab, or unless it was
Economy
gallop, I can't
timeout.
tell.
That's the thing. Mike McCarthy has completely mismanaged this game. That's why.
My god, oh my god, just too far for him to get it. Lamb is
Oh,
unbelievable.
he hurt himself on that play too. You can see it.
This is a guy. This is a guy. Like I said, he is not going to be here next year. He's going to force his way out.
Well, he's gonna request a trade. What's gonna happen is Stephon Diggs is gonna come from the Bills because he's unhappy up there,
Right.
and
Yep.
they'll. So actually, I could see CeeDee Lamb for Diggs as a trade. That would probably
Yeah.
make
Diggs is good. Diggs is good, but he's not like. I think Lamb has a lot more upside than Diggs, in my opinion. Diggs is a good.
get out of
Diggs is
town.
good. Don't get me wrong. But I like Lamb better.
He should have given it to him because he put his hand down, but clock's running. They're
Well, this isn't. You're not going to like this next play. So it's going to be fourth down.
terribly coached.
So bad.
Oh my gosh.
Well, they're just going to run out of time. They're not going to have time to get an onside kick.
No. 4th down with the clock running. How how is it every year the last 2 minutes of the Dallas Cowboys season is an absolute cluster F? I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
it's an
so bad.
absolute cluster F.
Like, so McCarthy's plan was just to have him chuck it, like just chuck it 4 times in a row, or like 3 times in a row, and
What
then
are they even doing? Like, just an absolute horrible. Oh my god. The thing is,
God,
like I said, silver lining for 3+ years, I have been praying for Jerry Jones to fire Mike McCarthy. There is zero excuse for me to wake up tomorrow and Mike McCarthy still be the coach of this team.
no, he's got to be gone. He's
Quinn's
got
going
to be
to
gone.
Seattle, period. They're blowing up the whole thing. They're blowing it up. It's all over.
Now, do you have those, like, do you guys have any like local radio guys that do like an immediate post game down
Yeah,
there?
you need to listen to 105.3. Listen to Sean Sharif. He's Sean Sharif's the only guy I like on the radio down here. I love him.
105
Yeah.
Is that the Fan?
Yeah.
I'll listen to that.
Yeah. So, but I call them out all the time at the Fan. I'm like, tell them like, hey, y'all need to like put Mike McCarthy's feet to the fire. And they're like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, they don't want to get fired by Jerry because like the radio station is like, got a contract.
Right.
I get it. So they can't be as free and open as me because Jerry can't fire me. So
Correct. Well, and that's that is a true statement, because I'm not so sure that like up here, what I've noticed up here on the radio shows, and most of our radio shows are currently really, really bad. Like, we don't, they're almost unlistenable at this point.
Oh, yeah.
But what I've noticed is you can't be too critical, because like these guys all make their living covering the team, and they're only going to go so far. There's only a handful of guys that will actually be critical. Most of them are like gaga. They're all fans, unfortunately. They're not really critical per se.
So the season has ended. Do you want to do a little hard reset?
Wow. Dallas again goes down in flames. How many cars do you think you're going to have by the time they win a playoff game? Like 5 cars?
I'm going to argue that the Dallas Cowboys will never win the Super Bowl in the remainder of my lifetime, whatever that is.
No, I would take that bet. I agree.
It's unbelievable.
All right, so we'll catch you on the Detroit halftime.
It sounds amazing, Buckaroo. Thanks. Fun. I love that I've got this set up now.
Yes, it looks really good too.
It's awesome. I'll send you the link and you can check it out.
Nice.
Peace. Like, subscribe, follow, everybody.
Yes. Bye.